Rabotai and all Tamidim, page 9, we are going to continue today, hopefully, Be'ezrat Hashem, with the word Melech, then with the word Shehechazarti, then with the word Bechemla Rabbai Munatecha. We spoke on the previous days, in part 1, part 2, regarding the importance of Modeh Ani Lefanecha V'chulu. Today we want to focus on the word Melech. Whenever a person says Modeh Ani Lefanecha, Melech Chai V'Kayam, right? The everlasting, the living king, what does it mean, Melech? And over here we have to realize this word Melech should really start your day also. How? Bikan, over here with this word Melech, Alecha tekav umiyad lekabel ol malchuto yit'aleh. Immediately, whenever you say the word Melech, king, you got already programmed in your mind right now, immediately, that you are accepting Hashem's kingship because He's a king on you. When you do that, you don't waste time by waking up or not, or yes, I want to do, I don't want to do. You have a king upon you. You know that Hashem is watching you. Because isn't it true that Hashem is the king on the whole world and also on you? So he says over here, Rabotai, what is the pshat with Melech? We have to understand one important thing. A lot of us think, if you look into Siman Hey in Halakha Hey, over there it says that if a person did not have kavanah in Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, where you accept all Baruch Shemaim, you're not Yotze Yudei Chava. You don't fulfill your obligation of Shema for that day. If you don't have kavanah in the first pasuk, according to Sfarim, also if you don't have kavanah in Baruch Shem Kvod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. But so we realize that we have to accept all Malchut Shemaim when we get over there, say 2 hours later, when we're going to daven, whatever the situation might be. But the Ola Tamid over here is telling us no. Even when you say Modeh Ani Lefanecha Melech, in this word Melech, you should say I'm accepting you as king upon myself. We have to ask ourselves one question: why? Why now? Why this? Why early? Why? Let me get up. Let me brush my teeth. Why now? Because we need to understand when you wake up in the morning that everything that you do in the morning, you brush your teeth, you take care of your needs, you get dressed, you look good. Everything you're doing for who? Is for the Melech, for Hashem. Because you want to be a good Jew. You want to be a presentable Jew. You're not doing it because you want to do it. You're doing it because Hashem commanded you to do this. There's halachot, all this, that you have to brush your teeth. A Talmid Chacham has to look presentable. A Jew has to look presentable. You want to do it because you're being commanded. But there's something else strong with this word Melech. When a person accepts upon himself, oh Malchut Shemaim, I give you guys an example. If your boss tells you, I want you to do X, Y, and Z at work, correct? You can ask questions? Huh? Yes or no? You're not going to ask questions. Okay. If this is your boss, which is Basar Radam, right? Flesh and blood. How much more so a king? HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself, Melech Akol HaOlam. He himself says you have an obligation to wake up, to daven, to learn, to do mitzvot. How much more so you have to be quick in doing that, Rabotai? But we don't see this. What do we do? Okay, I'm not ready to go daven. I'm not ready to learn. I'm not ready to do mitzvot. Rabotai, Melech means he's a king upon you. You have to be a soldier in his army. But there's even another point that's strong in the word Melech. Throughout the day, if you say, I accept the kingship upon myself, throughout the day, if now the boss tells you, I don't want you doing this, do something else, you can argue with him? No. Same thing a lot of times Hashem gives us, he throws us curveballs, like they say. Your wife yells at you. Your child didn't speak to you the proper way. Your boss didn't, not your boss, your worker didn't come to work. He had COVID. Now you could get upset. Or you could say, this is what the Melech wants. If I could understand that this is what Hashem wants, I'm not going to get upset. Because if Hashem wants the situation right now, this is the way I want it also. And that's another way of understanding Melech. Rabotai, so it's not when you say, and that's it. No. Melech, you already, Mamash, you're putting your mind, you're putting your frame of mind in the proper direction. You're going to wake up in the morning, your wife might call you, she says, baby, the kids didn't make the bus. So therefore, what do you want me to do? Take them. You gotta not get upset. You gotta believe that this is what exactly Hashem wanted you to go now. Leave this and go now. Take your kids to school. That's what you have to believe. But again, this is a very high level in Munah, but that's what Melech is. So that was the word Melech. Another word he says after we say Modeh Ani Lefanecha Melech V'Kayam Shehechazarta. And this is what we said in part 1 also. That you return my right Shehechazarta Nishmati, right? You return my neshama. Rabotai, why you have to say this? Why you have to focus on this word, Shehechazarta, that you return my soul? Why? Ki haneshama achrei tzeiteta balayla. When the neshama comes out at night, mitoch haguf al yital l'rakia, when it comes out from a person's body at night and it goes up to Shemaim, to the heavens, listen to this carefully. Einena rotza l'kaneshu l'toch haguf. Can you imagine that? It doesn't want to come back into the body. Can you imagine? You do everything for your wife. She changed the lock on you. She has nothing to do with you. That's what the neshama does to us. He leaves your body and he says, I don't want to go back to this guy. Not this guy. Too many Averas, this guy. Every single day, the same thing. Again, about that, everybody can always do the truth. That's why Hashem gives you the neshama back. Ve'al ze amar, and still on this, what does it say? Shehechezarta. The fact that the neshama doesn't want to come back and still Hashem sends him back. Shakadosh Baruch Hu machzira ba'al korcha liyoshuv b'toch gufi. Because Hashem, against the neshama's will, Hashem sends the soul back into your body. Not because the neshama wants to come back. The neshama does not want to come back. Rabotai, just like you cannot stand. I don't know if you guys ever pay attention, that if you have a person that's low level, he stinks very bad, or you walk into a place where it smells like number 2, or there's a garbage wasn't clean for days, or you have rotten milk you left open, for example. If you cannot be in the place, Rabotai, the same thing that the neshama, it cannot be in the body that does the virus. So whenever you have a person that he goes to these forbidden places, right, mixed dancing, beaches, movies, whatever, and they're dancing, they're dancing, they're happy. Rabotai, they're not happy. They're trying to cover up their depression, their sadness, because they're depressed inside with all the studio. That's what they drink a lot. That's what they eat a lot. That's what they go with the girls a lot. Why? They're trying to fill in. They don't know where to empty. They don't know where to empty. Watch, after the wedding, 2-3 hours after the wedding, they feel, what happened? What I accomplished? Number 2, that's what you accomplished. After this, everything that you ate goes straight to number 2, to the flush down the toilet. But this is what we don't realize. So this is what you have to say. Hashem, I'm thanking right now that you're the king of the universe, and the what that you return my neshama even though it doesn't want to come back. Can you imagine? The neshama doesn't want to come back, and still Hashem says you have to go back in. Why do we say Bechem Rabbi Munutecha? What's the great kindness that Hashem does with us? The great faithfulness, because He has mercy on us that He returns it. Listen to this carefully. If Hashem would behave with you according to the letter of the law, He sees that you're very dirty with sins and averas, He would not return your neshama back. Rabotai, just because Hashem, He has a lot of kindness, He has a lot of mercy. That's why He, not because you deserve, you don't deserve, no, you don't deserve the neshama back. It's just your body doesn't deserve the neshama back, but Hashem says what? I have rahmanut on this person. I gotta give him the neshama back because I have a contract. I believe this guy could come out from every day that a person wakes up in the morning, when he says, Modadi l'fanech bel chavi v'kayim shehechazar tebi nishmati b'chemla. Rabbi Munutech, you know the chemla what over there means? With the great mercy that what you did? From going to sleep all dirty, Hashem gave you neshama back clean, Rabotai, by returning your neshama back. Can you imagine? This is, and the Torah also brings on Siman Memvav, the Torah brings on Halach Aleph. I don't want to go through the whole thing. The Torah says not only this, Rabotai, not only becoming dirty. You don't do Averas, so why everybody does Averas? Okay, fine, but not everybody, like, we're not folks, maybe one time a person can low lane and fall, but you ready for this? But what happens if you don't do Averas? You better try to do everything according to Halakha. But tell me, you don't get tired at night? You don't get tired at night? The Torah says that's why we have the bracha of Anoten Layev Koach. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives strength to the ones that are tired, meaning at night you go to sleep, how? All worn out. Finished. You can't move. You ever feel that? That's the best feeling in the world. You put all your effort into learning, into working, whatever it is. You come, you put your Shema, whatever, you go, you bomb. Now, that is the best sleep. Now we have to turn 3 hours, 30 minutes until you go to sleep. Right there you feel like you accomplished you. That day you feel that day mamash is an accomplishment for you. You come back tired, you go to sleep tired, and Hashem in the morning, what does He do? He gives you your neshama how? Fresh. You give the shirt dirty to the laundromat, to the dry cleaners, He gives you back fresh. Do you see what the Ches Hashem does? Not only with the sins, but also of us being tired. Can you imagine if HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not give you your strength back? Rabotai, you won't have the strength to continue. That's when you have a lot of times, unfortunately, when people complain, well, I don't have this, I don't have this, I want this. What do you? The fact that you opened your eyes, you have to be happy. Somebody showed me a clip. I forgot which guy was it, that he said, what would you rather want? He said, if you would give him a job for $10 million or $1 million, whatever the clip was, if I will give you a job for $10 million tomorrow, would you take it? He said, yes. So what happens if I would tell you that tomorrow you'll get the 10 million, but you're not going to wake up? Would you want the 10 million? He said, no. So you're waking up is worth $10 million. So you're waking up in the morning, it's worth money, a lot of money. Yes, it is. And this is what we don't realize. We are billion, if not $1 trillion machines. You know, and this is very sad. One of the rabbis said very beautiful. A person has a $1 billion machine. His body works good. Everything HaShem gave him. He gave him this as a gift. What does he do? He kills himself. 7 to 7, 7 to whatever. He works like a dog just to make 100 million. Only to go back, use that 100 million, just again to revive himself because now he's old and he's sick and he's dying. What are we doing, Rabotai? We have to live in the moment, Rabotai. You have to try to see it, try to see to it, Rabotai, that you're serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the moment. Don't try to think you're going to outsmart HaShem by doing this and this. And this is what we sing over here when you say, Modeh ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayem shehechazarti b'shvati b'chemla, Rabbi Monotecha, you need to understand that HaShem is doing a big kindness. Imagine this, I'm talking about you. What about Bli and how your parents? What about your grandparents? What about your wife, your sisters, your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren? Look at the Jewish people as a whole. Look how much chesed Hashem does. You don't see that the miracle that Hashem does? Rabotai, B'ezrat Hashem, may we be zoich, Rabotai, to understand this Modeh ani lefanecha, and may Hashem give us all the berachot in the Torah. Baruch Adonai Olam.